You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Welcome, listeners and viewers, to a very special live episode of All Good Things, a Star Trek Universe podcast here on BQN and the Fandom Podcast Network. I'm your host, Kelvin, and as you can see, here with me today, it's Amy, Kristin, and Christos. Full house. Hey, team. Amy,
hello.
Vegas.
Yes, enjoying the beautiful weather and having a great time. I got to pick up my wine club yesterday, so life is good.
Brilliant. Have you drank it all already?
Oh, no. But we did enjoy some, last night.
Brilliant. And how are you, Christos?
I'm good. I'm actually having my first weekend at home since the weekend of August 2nd. I had STLV, I had 2 weeks of work in Hawaii, and I had last weekend for Labor Day wine tasting in Paso Robles. So there was a lot of fun in there, but as they say, there's no place like home sometimes. And so I'm just really much enjoying being home.
Very nice. Very nice. And good morning, Canada. How are you, Kristin?
Good. We're a little on fire right now. Yeah. So it's smoky outside and we've got a couple little things brewing. So my thanks are out to the fire crews that are out doing the hard work this morning. So
is that just wildfires?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. I thought when we made it to September, I was like, yay, we had such a fire-free summer. And then September was like, hold my beer. And here we are.
I was thinking of you the other day when we arrived in meteorological autumn. I was like, oh, it's spooky season. Kristin will be happy.
Yes, I am.
Brilliant. How are we all feeling about being live today? This is a rare treat. Christos?
I don't know that I've actually been live other than being a guest on View Screen where I have to do nothing but show up and smile and do my thing. So I was like, oh yeah, I guess I need to be a little bit more on my P's and Q's. There's no comfort in editing or anything like that we can fix our mistakes like, we do tend to do from time to time. So I'm good with it though.
Are you good, Kristin? Are you feeling the light? You're an old pro now. You're a View Screen regular.
I mean, we're just friends here with friends. It's, the most comfortable place to be and talking about one of the favorite things to talk about. There's live or not live. It for me makes no difference.
Yeah, it's good practice for us because we will be starting the View Screen in October. So there's a little teaser for you. But surprising, we all do a type of live show because Christos, your What's the T-Bev goes on YouTube. And so people can watch your show. So We're used to being, seen and not only just heard.
Brilliant.
It's good to be seen, as I like to say.
Yes.
Well, yeah, it certainly makes a difference when you have to, do your hair and have a wash before recording.
Well, ever since we started doing this Patreon thing, and it's a good little plug for the Patreon, we do have to worry about what we look like when we're recording. So I do take more time to maybe, it's usually early in California when we do these. In fact, it's usually even earlier than it is now. So that idea of getting up early on a Sunday morning and getting all cleaned up and camera ready before 9 a.m. is sometimes a chore, but it's worth it.
It takes me all my time to get ready for 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the evening, depending.
What kind of Saturday night you had?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to a matinee performance at the theatre yesterday. Christos, you'll know the pop group Steps. They've made a jukebox musical, so a storyline, but all of the songs in the musical are Steps songs, and it's set in a supermarket, a grocery store. And we were all very excited, saying, "Oh, lovely, a matinee! We'll all be home in bed by 8 p.m. Great." No, we were still out after midnight drinking, so it was just a very long day of partying. So
That actually is harder than when it's in the evenings.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Amy, we are here today because it's the 200th episode of All Good Things. And as our glorious leader, you've been here since day one. I thought it might be nice if you just give us a little reminder about how All Good Things came about. You know, this hasn't always been the normal lineup of hosts as well. We've had people join us, leave, come and go. So, yeah, how did the show start?
Well, we started All Good Things way back on January 7th, 2020 was our first episode. And it was myself and Patrick. So that was a long time ago. And originally we were on the network United Federation of Planets. So we were on that for maybe a year, and then we launched BQN. And we had our 100th episode, December 14th, 2022. So about 2 years later. And so now our 200th episode will be on September 11th, 2025, which I noticed is now 3 years. But we have taken some episodes off as we've launched ViewScreen. So we've stopped All Good Things. And so that's why there's 3 years to get our next 100 episodes. I just wanted to point that out, that we haven't been slacking off.
There was also a hidden Amy's math moment there, everyone, if you don't caught that.
Yeah. Also, as well, with the UK date format today, it's 7 of 9 day here in the UK. 7th of September.
Yeah.
There you go. And it's Star Trek Day tomorrow. So it's celebrations all round.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Kristin, remind us how long you've been podcasting now. I say that you're the new girl in town. You've been with us well over a year now, haven't you?
Probably about that. Yes, but it was I remember seeing you and Amy post something online that you were looking for a tech to do some support behind a new show. And I wrote to Amy and I was like, I would absolutely love to do that. And she goes, we have something else in mind for you. And so after that, I started doing the news, and I have loved every minute of doing it. And then I don't remember when that was, though. I don't, but that's okay. That's okay. Numbers are not my thing. Then it was on one of the cruises that Amy was like, we want you for All Good Things. And that would have been the last cruise I was on, which was 2023. Three. So I've been it's been much longer than a year then. It's probably been a couple of years.
Yeah.
In
fact, was it not the cruise 2024? Because it was the very beginning of the year, wasn't it? The cruise. So that would have been into 24, and then this year, 24 and 25. That would be almost 2 years.
24 and 25. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, if you think we've done 4 seasons of ViewScreen, and so that's 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Look, there's a lot of old people who can't remember the dates.
Yes.
They're cracking me up.
Yesterday.
I was trying to figure out when I officially joined the show. So all I did was go into Apple Podcasts and scroll back and figured it out. I think it was episode 76 was my first full-time episode.
Wow.
And Kelvin, I found yours pretty easy yesterday. It was like 98 because we also had
just before the 100th.
We also had you referee the 100th because you were the newbie. So
yeah. I remember Mark's brilliant artwork for the 100th episode where he kind of cartooned us a little bit. I love that. Yeah, it was great. Christos, as I've just said, it's Star Trek Day tomorrow. I know you love your merch, your releases. What are you excited for perhaps getting, or something that's been released in anticipation of it?
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be anything merchy per se. I am kind of really hoping that the new Paramount, which is, everyone is familiar, Skydance bought Paramount about 8 weeks ago, it became official. So it's very, very new. Skydance Paramount, or we'll just call it Paramount now, now they have I got all this cash influx. So they're investing big time in content and buying up IPs. And the guy they put in charge of original content is a huge Star Trek fan. And Paramount has gone on to say that Star Trek is very important to them. They want to get new movies going. They want to get 2 new movies out for Star Trek in the next couple of years. They want to get, and so I'm actually kind of hoping it might be early days, but I think between either tomorrow or New York Comic-Con, we may finally start to get some idea of what's going to be happening in terms of original streaming content. Maybe we'll finally start getting new shows announced instead of feeling like Star Trek has been kind of contracting the last couple of years. I feel like it's going to start expanding again, and that's exciting. So I'm hoping maybe tomorrow, maybe just even a tease. There's a new promo out that Paramount launched a couple days ago for Star Trek Day. It's all very very inspirational. These 2-minute videos they put out, and once again, there's no Beverly Crusher in this 2-minute video, so I've just got to take that with a grain of salt.
There's no Prodigy either. Erased.
Well, yeah. Speaking of which, did you guys? I'm gonna as we're going into speculation for a moment. The new Voyager comic book, Homecoming, just came out this week. I picked up the first issue. In fact, it's not too far away from me over here. Very good. It picks up at literally the moment Voyager gets home, the moment at the end credits. So kind of nice to kind of give them the story that we never really got and should have had. But interestingly, Kate Mulgrew was sharing it and sharing that there's a variant cover that has a picture of Janeway, not an illustration, and that hopefully it's a sign of more things to come.
Brilliant.
In the Janeway story, I think. So are we going to get our Star Trek Janeway? I think it's more likely than not at this point.
Wow.
Okay, so there's my speculation corner.
I just need more Janeway in my life.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Yeah. I started to rewatch a Voyager a couple of days ago. I don't know why, but I did. And I think I was texting you guys yesterday, like, Janeway was good from the beginning. I was watching the second episode, and I was just like, the facial expressions. Kate Mulgrew is just such a great actress. So I'm all about the return of live action Janeway.
Yeah. Even her hair is a good actor. When things are wrong.
Even when it's not her own.
Hair is doing its thing, and you know how to gauge your emotion and your anxiety by Janeway's coif. So that woman is just pure gold.
It's a very versatile actor. It can do pony, bun,
short bob.
Yeah.
I mean, it should get an on-screen credit because, especially, I don't know how many wigs she went through there those first couple of years.
Brilliant. So, Amy, we've said it's the 200th, but formally, would you like to tell the listeners and the viewers what are we here to do today?
Well, this is our 200th episode of All Good Things, and we are coming to you live for a special treat. And we just want to thank Kelvin for organizing this. This was his brilliant idea. So we want to give him the props he deserves. Now, don't worry, this episode will drop as a podcast. So if you're not here live watching us, you can hear it in your ear holes on our Thursday as normal.
And also, we really want to thank everybody who has wished us a happy birthday. And to those of you in the chat, how are we doing over there in the chat?
We've got Sean Sullivan here with us. Hey, Sean.
Hey, Sean.
Christos, you don't know why you rewatch Voyager. You better hand your card in.
Yeah.
I hope that's sarcasm.
Yes.
Never. And so thank you for those who have popped in to join us live today. I know it's a little bit unique and a little off script, but it's really cool just to sit with a bunch of people and just chat about Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is nice seeing Sean because he's here watching us on the view screen. So hello, Sean.
Yeah.
Kind of like view screen light today.
Yes.
or view screen bonus, or you guys just need to get some practice. There you go, Kelvin. Getting back in the habit a little bit. So this is a good dry run.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Before we actually get on to the topic, let's talk Strange New Worlds. I guess the first question again, Kristin, have you watched any of them yet?
At this point, I think I'm just going to wait for the season to be done, and then I'm going to binge the season. Here's the thing. I'm still doing my Grey's Anatomy rewatch, and I'm on season 20.
Oh my Lord.
And I will say that I'm still seeing more and more Trek people show up. Todd Stashwick showed up in an episode. Nice. Robert Picardo got shot by a gun in someone's vagina. Like, it is the most random episode. And so when I met him, I actually said to him, I was like, I loved your role on Grey's. And he just looked at me. He's like, that was a thing. And I was like, it was a great thing. You were hilarious. So anyway, you know what though? He was a hypochondriac in the hospital for no reason. So hopefully he learned his lesson. But anyway, so no, Strange New Worlds. I am so sorry. Talk about needing to turn in your Star Trek card. I think at this point I'm just gonna wait and then just binge the whole season.
Well, you can do that as early as Thursday. It finishes this Thursday. So.
Perfect. Maybe I'll get it. Maybe I'll get up to the penultimate by like Wednesday, and then. But I also have a lot to do this week because I have to prep because Maurice is flying up to visit us.
Oh,
I can't believe that. Yes, how wonderful.
Excited. So he'll be here on Friday, and then he's staying with us for the weekend.
How lovely. We'll send him our very most love.
I will.
Well, let's do a very light, spoiler-free chit-chat about episode 9, How do you pronounce it? Terrarium.
Terrarium.
Thank you, Amy. See, that would have been edited usually.
Yeah. Well, we have a school teacher here.
And I don't know what your opinions are, but to me, there was obviously quite a lot of critique, shall we say, of the Vulcan episode the week before, of it not really embracing Star Trek's, life through a lens argument, whereas this episode did. I think it could have easily been a Next Generation episode.
Yeah.
In fact, it was the enemy, where Geordi from Goland and Co. It had hints of that, but the enemy of my enemy is my friend as a message, and confronting your fears is brilliant.
And it was about time that we finally learn about
here. Hold on.
Yeah. They have been the scary for too long, the Borg. And then finally we have our Hugh moment.
Yes.
If you will.
Yeah. I will say this season has been up and down for me. It's definitely been the shakiest season of Strange New Worlds. I liked, there were some ones I really liked, and including the documentary episode, and I believe the one before that as well. But for me, the low spot was that Vulcan episode. It was just so many things wrong with it. Even as a fan, it's hard for me to even defend that episode.
Yeah.
So to get this episode this week, which was complete, 180 in my opinion, it was so entertaining, and the acting was so well. You just really felt the emotion in it. So when Kristin gets so when the tragedy happens at the end of the episode, I actually teared up. I really felt for Ortega and of course Argorn.
Yeah.
Liz, as they're calling her on another podcast.
I screamed. I said to Jen, I just said, as soon as they said Laan beam down, I just went, oh no, she's gonna.
I did too. And it's like watching a train wreck happen when you know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Great episode.
Yeah.
Great episode. Right, Kristin.
Am I good?
Yay.
In the room.
I'm most interested to see this Vulcan episode and see what everybody's issue was with it, because that was the one I was most excited for from promos that were dropped before the season, was them in that. Is this the one where they all morph into Vulcans? Okay. Yes. That was the one I was excited for, and everyone hated it.
And it's got that.
Not everyone hated it.
Okay.
It's very divisive, I will say that.
I will say I am the person who tends to like the stuff that a lot of other people don't like. I like Threshold. and Star Trek 5. So,
right?
I'll
Something
probably
for
love it.
everyone. Well, speaking of what we all like, a little bit of a theme for this week is because it's our 200th celebratory episode. We may not have mentioned that. I thought, let's look at all the celebrations in Trek. So if you think of things like weddings, birthdays, new babies, just parties in general, Trek has given us lots of content and lots of episodes featuring those celebrations. So I thought it might be nice if we all list our favorite Star Trek episode featuring those and just saying why. And then obviously, guys, get involved in the chat as well. If you're here watching us live, tell us who you agree with, tell us what your favorite would have been if it's not one that we've picked out. So let's start with a good old wedding. We all love a wedding, any excuse to get dressed up. Amy Nelson, would you like to surprise us all by talking about your favourite wedding in Star Trek, when that was, and why?
Well, what could it be but my favorite TNG movie, Nemesis, at the beginning with Riker and Troy's wedding. It is so beautiful. Her beautiful pink dress, like gorgeous. I love the teasing of Mr. Troy that Picard calls Riker. The toast, we get everyone there, Guinan and Data singing. Like, it's just a really beautiful celebration, and even Wesley's there in the deleted scene. So
has that been retconned out now? I wonder. Do we just have to accept that? I don't know.
And Worf sitting there at the table definitely has had a little bit too much blood wine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Romulan L, it should be illegal.
It should be illegal.
It is.
Irving Berlin.
Romulan ale no longer to be served at political or at diplomatic functions.
Now, remind me, was that scene, was that on the holodeck of the Enterprise E, the wedding? Because they were on the way to Beta Z for like the official ceremony.
Yeah, I believe it was the holodeck.
Yeah, I don't think it ever actually made it clear in Nemesis.
Yeah.
I've always wondered.
And see, I don't understand why all the weddings weren't on holodeck. Like, why did Keiko and Miles get married when she looked as extravagant as she did and they got married in 10 Forward? You could have gone to the holodeck and done some sort of beautiful, like, big garden with cherry blossoms.
No, I mean, having just stood in the Star Trek, the simulator at the STLV, the Roddenberry experience, and being able to go into 10 Forward and look out the front window and have it feel like I was literally there because I was in VR, I could see where that would be an appealing place to get married. You know, it's almost like the equivalent of getting married on the deck of a ship, because you can't do that necessarily of a boat. So I would defend Keiko and O'Brien.
It's quite metaphorical as well.
Very sterile.
It's also a built set that they didn't have to do anything to. So that's the real world, the real world version. No special effects needed.
You know what?
If you're going to location,
logic into this, I can't even talk to you.
You know, I'm part Vulcan. So don't discriminate against my half Vulcan side. I'm a half Vulcan.
So Amy's vote is Riker and Troy in Nemesis. Christos, what's your favorite wedding in Star Trek?
Well, I think anybody who listens to this podcast regularly knows I'm a big fan of Tarina and Saru. I was from literally the first time we met Tarina, period, in Unification 3 and Season 3 of Discovery. And so to watch their relationship progress very nicely over the course of 3 seasons and culminate in marriage in the final episode, or the final minutes of the final episode of Discovery. And I liked everything about them. They're just such a cute couple together. They take care of each other so nicely, and they have this concern for each other. And she's kind of like the alpha sometimes. She proposed to him, I think, if I don't remember. You know what I mean? So but they're really like kind of evenly matched in so many ways, and that's kind of why I really like them. I just, and it's good to see, Saru get the girl, so to speak.
Yes.
Great costuming at that wedding.
Oh,
as well.
yes. Yeah. I mean, we don't actually really see the wedding. We see more of the reception, I think, but still, it's like, you're right. The costumes were amazing.
Brilliant. Great choice. Kristin, what gets your vote?
Anybody who watches this podcast knows my favorite track is Deep Space Nine. I love Jenediah. I love Worf. I love them. And so you are cordially invited. Of Worf and Jenediah's nuptials is my favorite. It's friggin' metal. It's hardcore. They sword fight at their wedding. I was like, why didn't I think of that when I got married? Like, I could have had a V8. I could have brought out some swords and we could have done some whatever at the winery. But no, we just got married.
To endure Lady Cirella at your wedding.
You know what? It's true, because my mother-in-law is amazing. And the one thing I always felt for Jenediah was like, that is a rough mother-in-law. Like, rough. And like pseudo mother-in-law, because not exactly Worf's mom, but whatever. She was a bit much. Overall, though, the red wedding dress was it. I love how Trek always shows women getting married in colors other than just white. And I hope that is, I also see a trend of women looking at alternative for their wedding dresses that are not this traditional obsession with women's morality. So I enjoyed the red wedding dress. I enjoyed the vows. Everything was hardcore. Like, it just looks like you could be playing, some of my favorite bands like, Lorna Shore could be playing in the background and it would just be perfect. So yeah, that's mine. You're cordially invited. Metal AF. Let's go.
Well, listeners of this show will know I'm not the biggest Worf and Jenediah shipper. I think Jenediah is a much stronger character standing alone. However, that being said, I do also think it was a beautiful wedding ceremony. So I'm allowed to like the wedding and not the marriage.
There you go.
I think that's what lands a lot of people in divorce is all they want is the wedding and they don't care about the marriage, or they're not ready for the marriage.
Yeah.
So that's actually a very interesting interpretation of that.
It's purely about this episode. It's not an outlook on life or a belief. Is James watching? Yeah.
Well, Kelvin, what is your favorite wedding?
I've got a curveball. One of my favorite relationships in Star Trek is Tom and B'Elanna in Voyager. I think it's a very earned relationship of the fact it was such a slow burn from season 3 onwards. So you might be thinking, well, hang on, we didn't actually see their wedding, because their weddings, it was more about the proposal, and then the wedding was off screen, and then they just went away in the Delta Flyer on honeymoon. But I'm talking about the alternate wedding in Course Oblivion in season 5, which was the biomimetic duplicates of the silver blood. And I love the wedding itself. I like the no nonsense dress uniforms. Everyone looks amazing in them TNG dress uniforms. It's always great to see those on DS9 and Voyager, I found. I love B'Elanna's hair. That she was a bit blonde in season 5. I just think it was her best look. And I like the tragedy of the episode as well. That, it's, Tom loses his beloved wife on the wedding day. She's the first one to melt and dissolve, and you see all the rice being thrown as confetti dripping through the floor into the Jeffries tube. So yeah, you watch the episode and you just assume that's the real Tom and B'Elanna getting married at the beginning. And one of the only giveaways is that Janeway says Lieutenant Tom Paris, and the real one was actually already demoted to ensign by that time. So that's the first, oh, what's going on here? So yeah, Tom and B'Elanna's wedding in Course Oblivion. That's my vote.
That one was very much on my radar, but I was too late to pick. so you'd already picked. So this was like my runner-up. Because again, excuse it's early here. The episode where B'Elanna starts to experience the Pon farr, and she, and there's the scene at the end where Tuvok is like, you got to do this. The sexual tension that Roxanne and Robert had was palpable. Like, you don't see that a lot on Star Trek. You're like, yeah, you're cute together. Those two were hot together. Like, that was some sexy, like, let's, like, okay. Yeah.
For anyone who's interested, go back and watch Blood Fever. And there's a lot of grunting and growling.
Yeah, it's quite hot. It's quite hot.
Pon farr, something occurred to me the other day. I was having an Amy's Math moment. So Spock goes through Pon farr in Amok Time, which is the very first episode of season 2 of the original series. So that's 2267. If they happen every 7 years, that means his last Pon farr is 2260. Strange New Worlds is now in 2261. So there could be a few months different. It could have an early one and late one. Do you think all this Spock sexy time that we're getting now with Ethan Peck is actually he's just on a little bit of a Randy cycle?
That absolutely explains my criticism of what's going on with Spock and why is he getting around. That totally makes sense.
Why is he hoeing?
Because we've never really seen a Vulcan go through Pon farr and have easy access to what he needs.
Oh, we did.
Well, you
Star
did.
Trek 3.
Oh,
Saavik was just right there. It was perfect.
Okay, easy and appropriate access to deal.
Let's not call Saavik easy access. That sounds awful.
Well, okay. Also, that was just like they just. Anyway, I don't want to. No, Christos is too early to talk about that. I just mean like we always see them far away, like poor Tuvok.
Poor Tuvok, yeah.
Poor Tuvok, and then the freaking holodeck gives out. Oh.
Well, we're on to a completely different celebration now, aren't we?
Yes.
Every year.
We're on to the wedding night, so not from the wedding to the wedding night, yeah.
And technically, this leads to the next celebration of which we have on the list.
Absolutely. So, guys, what did you think of our choices there? Get involved in the chat if we didn't name your favorite wedding episode. There are plenty more in Trek.
Several more, yeah.
Yeah, no one's coming back with Lwaxana Troi weddings yet, are they? How many did she have? 2? Well, she didn't go through with the Minister Campio one, so I don't think that counts. But she got married to Odo, didn't she?
We've got a question for you, Kelvin. In the episode False Prophets, what did Tom Paris trade for ears so he could enter the temple?
I think it was his sandals, like shoes.
Boots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it was some item of clothing because he was whinging to Chakotay. Why didn't he have to give his? So, Sean, you posed the question. You can fact check that. Let me know if I got it right.
I feel like Davey just showed up, man.
Because I think, doesn't he say something like my feet are cold after? I think he says, he says something about, my feet are cold, and he was not happy.
Right. We have confirmation. I'm correct. Still got it.
Kelvin, the thing of trivia question. Geez.
Shout out to Davey's quiz that is having a rebrand and a relaunch in the next couple of weeks. So Trexperts quiz is now Trek Masters. And that'll be live on YouTube in the next couple of weeks. I think he's on season 4 as well. So I've begged to be allowed back on, even though I need to regain my crown. Anyway, right, what's next? Kristin, what are we doing? What comes after weddings? Oh, God.
After the weddings comes the Pon farr, and then come the bebes. So we are talking about the favorite. Sorry, I'm a Canadian. I love my Moira Rose. Yeah. Where is Bebe's Chambers? So yes, favorite births in Trek and why?
Brilliant. Amy, start us off.
All right. Well, it's no surprise, but my favorite birth And if I were to give birth, I would want it as easy as Troy did in season 2 opener, The Child. That whole pregnancy, of course, was just beautiful, and the birth was unbelievable, and her recovery was very short. So out of all the births, that is the one to have. And I also really like it because, like, Marina was concerned that she was not going to be, that was when they were getting rid of a female. Thankfully, Denise left and Gates
got fired.
So to have Marina and to come out with an episode devoted to her, like a Troy episode, was just huge. And I just love that episode.
Yeah, there's a couple of things. So first off, it is the very first episode to feature Dr. Pulaski.
Yeah.
But did you know that the script for The Child was written in the 70s for Star Trek Phase 2?
Yes.
And it was one of the, and ended up using, they dusted it off, changed a few names and punched it up and used it for TNG like 12 years later.
Wasn't that because there was another writer's strike around that time?
Yes.
So they were looking
that's why
material.
Season 2 is shorter.
That's why, including a clip episode.
Of course.
Yeah. But it is, it's like what, 21 or 22 episodes. It's much shorter than the 26 22. Normal.
Yeah. And it's quite a big deal for the season opener as well to not feature, a Picard episode or a big ensemble battle. It was a brave choice to do a Troy episode for episode 1 of season 2. And it's great.
I also think it's a very applicable and important discussion that occurs in this episode that is even more important today than ever before, where it essentially was a bunch of men sitting around a table talking about what to do with a woman's pregnancy and a woman's body. And finally she stands up and says what her case is going to be, what she is choosing to do. And Picard was like, well, that's that then. And so I enjoyed the fact that they showed how easy it is for those of the male persuasion to GTFO of a woman's body.
And that was 1988 too. So
it was,
Star Trek's always been progressive.
Well, and if this was one that was written for the original series, is that what you were saying? Like that's even
Phase 2.
Phase 2. Yeah, they were going to bring back. I just watched a Roddenberry YouTube thing. I think it just came out yesterday about what Star Trek Phase 2 was supposed to be. They were going to relaunch the show in 1975, 76 on a brand new Paramount network that wouldn't come until later. Sorry.
Christos is celebrating.
I'm celebrating. Anyways, I won't do that again. Did that happen again? That would happen later when Voyager premiered. Voyager became that show to launch a new network for Paramount. But it was supposed to be Phase 2, and Paramount did the math, apparently, and it wasn't going to math out. So they abandoned it very quietly, and they were supposed to turn it into a movie. And then there's a couple different movies they got to until we eventually got to the motion picture.
There we go.
So they were already writing episodes for that new Phase 2. That was ever going to...
That makes it more impressive then, because it was actually written at an even more tumultuous time.
Right.
So I always appreciate the social commentary included in Trek. So The Child definitely has that.
Brilliant. Kristin, what's your bebe of choice?
What's my bebe of choice? My bebe is Molly. So my favorite birth is season 5, episode 5 of TNG Disaster. I was like, of course you're not going to have an easy birth. She has the opposite of what Troy has in The Child. So she's there cranking out this kid in front of all these looker-ons, and poor Worf is trying to do that.
You may now give birth.
You may now. What do you think I'm doing? I am pushing. So anyway, there's so much humor. I also enjoy that Worf is being put in a very uncomfortable situation for him, but he kind of rises to the occasion. And then, of course, in Accession,
Yeah.
that one. When the announcement is made that she's pregnant with the second baby, and he's like, "Oh, Keiko's having a baby now," and he was like, "The PTSD is so real." So, anyway, that's my favorite. I just think that that whole episode is so good.
Brilliant.
It really has people in unique situations and just how they adapt to succeed. Yeah,
we've talked about disaster before on this podcast. It literally is one of the best top 5, top 10 TNG episodes, and I hear that from so many people. They just enjoy that episode.
Yes, so that was an easy pick.
Season 5, I think, is the best season of TNG. It's got all my favorites in.
Agreed. No, 4 comes in a close second, but 5 is definitely first.
Right, Christos, I'm going to leave you to last because yours is a belter, if you don't mind me saying. So I am going to go next. My favorite birth, and again, it's very similar to what you've just said, Kristin, about the episode and the scenario. I'm going for Voyager, Naomi Wildman's birth in Deadlock Season 2. Which again was like a disaster style episode with the ship all battered and beaten up and everyone on high alert. So the EMH going offline. Then I've just realized my last choice was a wedding where they then die. And now I'm talking about Naomi's birth where then Naomi dies. I didn't think this through. I'm not as morbid as I come across. But obviously, we get the quantum duplicates come across with Harry Kim and everything's all fine. But I remember loving that episode for very strange reasons, that it had what I think it's probably been eclipsed since this, but it was the longest cold open of Star Trek to that point. So it was something like 12 minutes at the beginning of Deadlock before you got to the Voyager theme tune coming on. I just love it. It's one of those episodes I just watch like a background one because I know it so well. And yeah, great. But and also as well the fecal transport that you get where they beam the baby out of Samantha Wildman. So that was an interesting concept in Star Trek. I'm sure a lot of people saying, why don't they just do that for everyone? That would make giving birth a lot less stressful.
And a lot less dangerous. Well, unless, I don't know though, what do they, what do they do with all the stuff that has to come out when a woman does give birth, right? Like you got to get all of the placenta and all of the amniotic fluid out, otherwise she can experience sepsis.
Yeah.
So how do they remedy that if they're just beaming bebes out?
Yeah, they also say, I remember Bob Picardo saying like initiating umbilical separation, energizing. It's like, how have they done that? They can't just press a button and cut the cord inside.
I don't know.
But it was still pretty cool to see a baby appearing in a little mini bio bed in a little cute. Speaking of cute, Christos, what is your choice? This is brilliant.
Well, I was going to like, what are some of my favorite? Like I was honestly like trying to think of episodes where births actually happen. I'm like, are there enough for even the 4 of us to pick from? And I'm kind of going through it, and I was like, well, there was the one episode in season 4 where they use the phasers, and there's that Dr. Crusher and Worf kind of birth a baby in space, and it latches on to the Enterprise.
Just wrote that as my honorable mention in Galaxy's Child.
Galaxy's
Child,
So that's pretty. But then, like that on steroids is my pick, which is No-Win Scenario from season 3, episode 4 of Picard, in which the whole episode is like the Titan is in such bad shape, and there's these, flashes of light that are happening periodically. And Beverly is the one that figures out that there's mathematical countdowns happening, and it's likens it to contractions of a baby, contractions happening, and it's all math. And they figure out that it's counting down to a moment, which is going to be birth actually. But, it's just, they figure out that that's going to be the way they save the ship. And the way the crew comes together in the conference room with Riker and Crusher and Picard and Jack Crusher, it was like good old-fashioned Star Trek to me, where they're, let's do what we do best, and Beverly gets to see one of the biggest lines of, to seek out new life when all these babies, or the space babies, are around them at the end of the episode. And it's kind of a nice pause in the chaos that is what's happening in season 3 of Picard, just to say, this is what Star Trek really is, to seek out new life and new civilizations. And you kind of see that. You kind of get a little bit of a very nice timeout, and before things ramp up again in the next episode. So, no-win scenario.
Nice little kind of tie back to Farpoint as well, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, they even reference it.
They even say it. Farpoint, she's like, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, Beverly's being Beverly, and she's like mercenary in the first few episodes, right? This episode also is like the return of Dr. Crusher, I feel like, in the sense of just being smart and being a smart, educated person who can help people make good decisions.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, before we move on from babies, we have a medical opinion here. I don't know if this is correct, but thank you, Sean, for putting it in our chat. And it says that there's a weird thing in C-sections which lead to babies having weak immune systems if they don't have exposure to the pee and the poo on the way out. So I'm guessing it's the bugs that are naturally occurring in the body helps develop an immune system, which seems to stack and make sense. This is a non-fact check, non-medical, but it's a very interesting point. I don't know if it is 100% true or not, but yeah. Peeing and pooing. Interesting.
Well, there is something they say about like when baby birds are being born, you're not supposed to help lift the shell off. You're supposed to let them push through, because they need to do that to get ready to be successful outside. And sometimes I wonder about that with human babies. However, a lot of times C-sections are done because that is the medical necessity, right? Where there's no physical way for the mom to birth the child naturally safely. Many situations or reasons. So, but that is a very interesting interpretation. I always say that you see kids with weak immune systems who didn't grow up with pets. My first pillow was a dog, so my allergies are next to nothing.
Or as James calls it, coming out the sunroof. This is very much this is a Sitches conversation that won't be taking place during a live stream, but I'll tell you the full story another time, Kristin. Brilliant. Okay, guys in the chat, what is your favourite birthing? I think, Christos, you win the round, because Sean was actually saying, what about the one in Picard where the Titan's stuck in the nebula and they have to ride out the contraption? So you both got a little jinx moment there where you both referenced it at the same time. So thank you.
Good job, Sean.
Okay. So we're born, and then what happens after we're born? What ongoing regular celebration, hopefully, do we get many of? Where are we going next, Christos?
We are going to talk about birthdays. So yes, and of course, the older we get, the more we have. So birthdays are a very common theme in Star Trek, actually, if you do your little digging around. So let's start off with Amy. Amy, what's your birthday choice?
Okay, this one was very difficult. This one I had to Google, so I'm just going to say it and then we can just move on because Kristin has my real pick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I remember Malcolm Reed's pineapple cake. That was his favorite, and that was in our Enterprise episode Silent Enemy.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now I want to make
the one where
upside down cake. Oh.
Yeah, wasn't it like where they're trying to figure out what to do for him the whole episode? I think they finally get it from his mother or something.
Yeah,
like that.
because they're like going around. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think this is they have Hoshi has a really weird conversation with his mum and dad, and they're basically saying they don't really know anything about him. He's a bit of a mystery to them. He's a closed book. And she comes off the call saying like, "Oh my God, he's obviously not got a very strong relationship with his parents." But they science the thing because they figure out that he's allergic to pineapple, but he loves it that much that he's his occasional treat. So that's why she gets the idea to make the birthday cake a pineapple cake.
Yeah.
So it's me and cheese.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. It's like, I know it's not good for me, but I don't care.
Well, I used a food safety phrase the other day in a meeting, dietary indiscretion. And people was like, what does that mean? So it's when you eat something that doesn't agree with you and you know you shouldn't eat it, but you do anyway, and then you get a effect.
Yeah. You just kind of know what's coming and you just prepare for it and as best you can. Or in this case, get a little,
suffered dietary indiscretion.
What a bodily fluid talk on today's episode. I like it. I like it. It's very.
You started it.
I know.
Picardo's vagina.
Okay, I didn't say he had one. I say he got shot by a gun in one. There's a big difference.
Which is
you see how the story progresses, though.
Why didn't they just beam the gun out of her?
We're celebrating every aspect of the human condition here today. Well, then, if Amy didn't get to get a real pick and she picked a substitute, why don't you reveal, Kristin, what your pick is, which Amy is clearly a big fan of as well.
And you know what the irony of this is, Amy, is that this is my second pick because Kelvin actually has my first pick.
Oh, yeah.
It's all connected.
So I went with my runner-up, which, of course, is TNG's Parallels with Worf. I love it when people don't want surprise parties, and there's always that person that's like, let's do it anyway, because why not? Let's just make the person extremely uncomfortable. And just when you start noticing the little changes coming in and Worf being so confused at the beginning, and you're sitting there going, wait, no, I know exactly what Worf's talking about. It's a very easy episode to get pulled into really, really quickly. I do like how it does show a softer side of Worf at the end as well. And when he invites Deanna in for just some champagne. And I don't know, I think it just, I also like how the final one is the happy ending, right? Where there's no surprise party. Everyone respected his boundaries. He got first place in the Bat'leth competition. Happy. So, and then again, it's just an amazing episode overall. So I'm giving my favorite B-Day to Worf's Parallels. Yeah.
Do you know what's really interesting about that episode? You know, they sing to Worf in Klingon, but they don't sing Happy Birthday in Klingon. No. They sing For He's a Jolly Good Fellow in Klingon, which I understand is about the music rights. It was very expensive in an episode to sing Happy Birthday. I think the only episode that sang Happy Birthday in a birthday episode was Julian Bashir's in Distant Voices, where Garak at the end goes, and many more. But yeah, for the rest of the birthdays, they all sing For He's a Jolly Good Fellow because it was cheaper.
I thought that Happy Birthday was one of those royalty-free songs.
Apparently not. I think it is now because it's past I think it's like if it's 100 years later.
Oh, okay.
It then goes in the public domain.
But this episode just came out like 3 years ago. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're in the Nexus.
I wish.
Yeah. So with the royalties thing, if they sang the melody of Happy Birthday but with Klingon words, would it have had the same necessary interesting legal issues?
But I love how they're like, do you know how hard it is to it was only in the last 5 years. Thanks, Sean. That's interesting. So wow. Okay.
Were you going to say about the jolly?
Yes, that when they try to translate these happy, joyous songs with Klingon words, there are no real Klingon words for jolly and happy and joyous. And I'm like, of course there isn't. Look at that.
Brilliant.
Look at the weddings.
Brilliant. Christos, what is your birthday pick?
You know, it's kind of funny. I kind of like racking my brain about this, and then like the obvious was like staring me in the face. I picked Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, because very much, I mean, we do have a little bit of a birthday celebration with Bones and Kirk at the beginning of Star Trek II, in which he gives them his glasses and the famous line, people have birthdays every day. Why are we treating yours like a funeral? But yeah, it was so typical Bones to say something like that. Mm-hmm. And I think he gives them some Romulan ale too, if I'm not, am I imagining that? Maybe? No. Anyways, I just really like that is part of the movie itself. It's this idea of aging and, you know, feeling older, midlife crisis, and then of course the Genesis birth later, and then another birth later in that movie. Genesis is a birth, right, of the planet, and it's, you know, it kind of creates this dynamic between like yin and yang of what Kirk is going through, and you know what he's gonna, you know, basically reconnecting with his son, and the death of the birth of a planet, and then the death of Spock. So there's just like this whole loss and gain kind of flow of Star Trek II. So I like it.
And it's beautiful that that's in there as a theme with all the kind of pew pew action that is in Wrath of Khan as well, to give it that human condition element of the movie.
Yeah. And I like this a little bit.
I have to correct what I said earlier when I said Kelvin had my number one. Sorry, it was Christos that had my original pick. That was my favorite birthday too. So that's why. Yeah.
I like how, and I also like how they take a little bit more in this, and they're like, they explain a little science behind it. Like they tell you a little bit about how they fix eyes in the 23rd century, and, you know, that develop a real world reason they could give him glasses, you know, which is, at least they explain it out, and it's like, okay, because
you know what's funny is every time I put my glasses on, I think of Kirk putting his glasses on. Every single time when he puts them on at the end to try and like,
to get the prefix.
Yes.
I like when they put them on. I'd my part there.
I'm like, oh, I'm Kirk. Only I'm not doing anything nearly that cool.
Yeah, I don't. And those glasses come back in Star Trek 4 because he sells them.
He sure does, but the lenses aren't intact.
Or those a birthday gift from Dr. McCoy, and they will be again. That's the beauty of it.
That's the beauty of it.
Brilliant.
Nerds.
Okay.
And Kelvin?
So I am going over to Deep Space Nine, and I am choosing Miles O'Brien's birthday in The Assignment, which is where Keiko is possessed by the Power Wraith. And I just think this is so typical, you know, O'Brien must suffer episode is his birthday. It's the ultimate O'Brien must suffer. He's got all of that to go through with Keiko. And we've reviewed The Assignment on this podcast before, and we've said how brilliant the acting is with Rosalind Chow. And just, you know, the travesty of they didn't give her better material because she really has the chops. The way she was parading around at that birthday party with such a you know, this fake smile and everything's fine. And he was trying to talk to her on the side. She's like, not now, Miles, we've got guests. And all the time she's possessed by the Power Wraith. And it was great. I really, really loved. The only thing I don't like about that episode is I don't think Nana is in that episode, because I think she might have actually been giving birth around that herself. So she was on maternity, but all the others are there. You know, Dax turns up with a bottle, and it's a great birthday episode in true Deep Space Nine fashion of let's make it as miserable as possible.
Poor Miles. Just can't catch a break.
I would say as well, when I sometimes go on a bit of a binge watch, and you know, when you think, what do I want to watch multiple episodes. So where am I going? Am I going to watch how much time have I got? Am I going to watch 3 episodes of Enterprise from season 4? Am I going to watch the first 6 of Deep Space Nine from season 6? Am I going to watch the last 10? A really good theme is birthday episodes. There are so many. I would say Year of Hell doesn't count for Janeway's birthday because it's a full year. So clearly she's going to have a birthday at some point during the episode. Everybody does.
They all do, yeah.
They all do. But when Those Old Scientists was released last year in Strange New Worlds, I was like, it's the birthday episode. It's
Pike's birthday.
So there's a lot of honorable mentions that you can choose, going all the way back to Future Imperfect with Riker. Lots of great birthday ones. Amy, you've got an honorable mention as well, haven't you? Which is the kind of yin and yang to Christos's Wrath of Khan.
Yeah. So as you were talking, I'm like, oh yeah, Star Trek 09, they have Bones and Kirk. But Kirk has lost his father in that timeline. So they're having a drink for his father as well. And it's the same age that his father died. And I like that in 09 as well.
Brilliant. Okay. So, Kristin, what is our final celebration pick? What are we doing?
Our final celebration is just any celebration. So any etc. Options that are the reason to celebrate and general parties. So no rules apply in this, just whatever soiree you enjoyed.
Yeah. So I plugged this topic into ChatGPT, and the episode list was long.
Yes.
And it broke it up by series. So very good ChatGPT.
Well, think of Strange New Worlds. I mean, is it really a Strange New Worlds episode if they don't have a drink in their hand? They love it. They're always in that bar.
Yes.
So yeah, there's plenty of choices. Do you want to start us off, Christos?
Sure. Speaking of Strange New Worlds, it suggested Spock Amok and charades for festivities related things. But for me, background, there's a reason I started watching Voyager. I got a brand new TV this week, so the color is, and finally I completed my Apple acquisition of the digital owning of the TV series, all the TV series, because right now the entire series of Voyager is only $39 on digital. And I'm working my way up to say, if I want to cut the cord on Paramount when they're not doing new episodes, I can still get my Trek. So anyways, I got my Voyager this week. And so I watched Caretaker and then Endgame.
Oh, wow.
Now I'm going back and started through. But so I watched Endgame the other day. And it literally starts off with the 10th anniversary of Voyager returning home after 26 years, I think it was, or 23 years in the Delta Quadrant. Yeah, I think it was 23, actually, because she had 16 years from the time that episode where she's at to getting home. Anyway, so there's a big party yeah. So in an alternate future in the year 2404, they're having this kind of a crew reunion party. And, you kind of learn that the Doctor had just taken a name and a new wife, and Harry Kim hadn't come to one of these parties in a long time. And, you just kind of see Janeway and Barclay, and it's just a nice little get together. So it's different. So I thought that was really cool. A cool pick.
Brilliant. I've just had a thought about Endgame that has never occurred to me before. They talk about, obviously, Janeway went back, changed the timeline because of all the horrible things that happened, like Tuvok's illness, Seven and Chakotay dying. No thought was given to the Doctor's marriage.
Oh, yeah.
His lovely wife that obviously now he's not with, never met. That was deemed not valid. Well, obviously we didn't think about it for the wedding theme either.
How do you know he wouldn't get? Well, we'll see what happens. You're going to find out what happened to the Doctor very shortly in Star Trek Starfleet Academy.
That would be a deep cut if they reference that.
His wife, maybe she's well, he married a real person, not a hologram. So
yeah, but he could have made a hologram of her, I guess. Anyway, we're writing the content for them. Let's get the right.
We're here for it.
Brilliant choice, and also a great one as well. If you're reading your comic, because obviously you've watched Endgame and then you're straight into the
That's what made me want to watch Endgame. Was I read the comic and I was like, okay, I'm going to watch Endgame now.
Brilliant. Oh, Kristin, this is a brilliant choice. What have you gone for? What is your party of choice?
Oh, it's my favorite Star Trek movie. Out of all of them, including, like, believe it or not, any of the next gens, even Section 31, I like this one better. And that's Star Trek 6. And so my party of choice is the world's most uncomfortable dinner party.
Yay!
Yay!
Guess who's coming to dinner?
Guess who's coming to dinner with Chancellor Gorkon and Chang, and they don't know how to use utensils. And did you see the way they ate? Horrible table manners. And the discussions and how they're just so and then Spock's little like trying to bring it in. And then I never, as a kid, I didn't pick it up, but her as a Boar's issue with saying inalienable, and how, like, words are so important when you're talking to people, that you're not using verbiage that could be offensive. And
human rights.
Yeah, human rights. You could only hear yourself. And it's, it's just very interesting to see how that was, again, brought up in a very clandestine and clever way back in 1991. I mean, it was very cool to see how they did that. And I just always love that scene.
It's very, like, that movie just kind of shows how much Star Trek was maturing, and the writing was just getting stronger, and you're continuing to bring on, good thoughts, good moral things that force you to kind of examine yourself. And that's part of what that movie's about, is Kirk having to re-examine his own feelings and whatnot. And it's like, and on top of that, they still managed to bring in the action and everything that makes that movie all tie together, and an amazing score. So we all know that Star Trek 6 is one of my favorite all-time movies, period.
I was listening to the Star Trek 6 themes, the score in the gym the other day. It's a fantastic workout album. It really gets you going.
The opening line before the explosion, like,
the
build is so good.
Got to time your set,
Excellent Klingon Shakespeare there. To be or not to be, Kristin, well done. Okay, so I am going to go next. So I'm going to redeem myself here a little bit, because I'm going to swip out my choosing a happy occasion and then making it miserable. I'm choosing a miserable occasion and making it happy. Okay. So I am choosing as my favorite party in Star Trek, I'm choosing Geordi and Rose's funeral from the next phase.
So good.
Which was a very happy occasion because they're not dead.
Yay!
Well, it ends very happy.
I love everything about that party. I love the Dr. Crusher and Data's conversation about when Data's almost worried that did he represent them correctly, and she's saying, look around, this is everyone's together sharing happy memories. I think as a child, this was, as coming up from a very deeply religious Roman Catholic background, where someone dies, you draw the curtains in your home for like a month and you're in official mourning. To see a funeral that was a party was like, what? You people are allowed to do this? So that was very informative for my young mind. But I just thought it was great. It had humor. It had the action of the episode with Ro and Geordi trying to, create all of the emissions. So Data would use the anion emitter to counteract it all. There was the iconic scene with Ensign Ro shooting Riker through the head with the Romulan disruptor, because now she'll never know what he was going to say about her at the eulogy. Which is even more tragic now because she is dead. Oh no.
We haven't seen a body.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the
He'd
same
never
thing.
seen a
Is she-
body.
is she not? Is she not? So yeah, a very happy funeral is my perfect party in all of Star Trek. Well done, Data. Great funeral. Never been to a better funeral.
Yeah.
It's interesting because it was around the 90s that the idea of moving from a somber funeral to a celebration of life really started to take hold. I lost a friend in a car accident in 98, 99. And for her she was 16, and her funeral, it was no black, we're not going to have any sad songs, it was very much about celebrating what she had done while she was with us. And I think that I like that. I like that. You know, they always say death is hardest on the living because we're the ones left to pick everything up. But, you know, so it's also our duty to keep the memory of that person alive and remember them for what they lived for, not how they died. Except the one Romulan that flies out of the side of the Enterprise D, and that was so good. He's just floating.
Well, they never quite explain why they don't fall through the deck either. So
Yeah.
or that when the ship actually moves, why they don't just stay still and the ship moves past them, or
the interphasic cloak didn't quite work on the soles of the shoes, so they have a little bit of resistance to the deck plate.
Nice.
Cool. We've got a question here in relation to your choice, Christos. So Sean wants to know, what name did the EMH premiere in Timeless? I'll throw that to you, Christos. Can you remember what name he took?
I remember Timeless because that's the 100th Voyager episode, right, where they go back and Voyager had crashed in the ice and everything. I do not remember the name that EMH took, but I'm sure you do, Kelvin.
I think he means Endgame, actually. Sorry, Sean, if I'm misquoting you, but
it's Joe in Endgame, yeah. But didn't he take a name in?
It's like
in Timeless.
20 years picking Joe.
Yeah, didn't he have the name? And he might be right. He might. I don't know.
It is Endgame.
I thought it was Timeless, the one where they go back.
Well, he was frozen. He was frozen. He wasn't in the future, so they had to reactivate him and put him in the mobile emitter. Right. I've always said a great name. The name they should have chosen for the Doctor was because he was the Mark 1 EMH. His name should have been Mark 1. I think that would have been a perfect name, Doctor 1, Mark 1. There we go. That's my choice. Amy, let's end our picks with your party in Star Trek. This is a very left field, if you don't mind me saying.
Yes.
Well, this is the party that everyone wants to be at, and this is in Phantasms when they're in 10 Forward. Deanna Troi is a cellular peptide cake. Beverly with mint frosting. Yes, exactly. And we've got Beverly sipping Riker's brain through a straw. We have Data answering his phone. You know, why would you not want to be at that party? That's the party that you want to be at. So
kinky.
It's spawned so many memes, that party. The ones with data where it says Android phone, unlimited data.
Best.
That'd have to get on your meme of the week, Kristin.
And Blazing Bev was born out of that episode. Yeah. For somebody photoshopping the straw thing into a blunt.
Yes.
A cute toot. Lovely. Well, there we are. They are our picks. So we're looking in the chat now. What else have we got? I think Sean was actually saying there was some promotions that we could have talked about as well. That would have been a fun celebratory theme. And
that could be its own episode. Promotions and demotions. Tom.
Yeah. The sound of her voice in Deep Space Nine, Lisa Cusack's funeral, and they do an Irish wake to celebrate rather than mourning.
Irish wails that they do when someone passes are some of the most beautifully haunting sounds you will ever hear. And Dolores, who was may she rest in peace, the lead singer from the Cranberries, when she does those weird cracks with her voice and everything, those are to mimic traditional Irish mourning whales.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
So
I'm from an Irish descent.
Me too.
Wow. So, okay, so there we are. Those are our picks. Did we miss any other special occasions? So let us know. Let us know what you would have liked to have seen if we cover celebrations again in a future episode. So check the comments and read some more. So, Kristin, where are we going next week for episode 201, which is slightly less celebratory, but it's a very special episode?
It's the one. It is the ace of the next 100, and the ace cards in tarot are always about new beginnings, new opportunities, new life, sprouting of hope and possibility. So 201 is just as exciting, and this is stinking amazing. We spoke about it today, and we are reviewing the motion picture from Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan. I lost my mind when I saw this. I literally screamed out loud. I am so excited. And of course, for all of those who are interested, it is to celebrate the release of the new Star Trek Khan podcast, which of course airs tomorrow. So I am so very, very excited.
Brilliant.
I'll get my
Look
little,
at that. I've got
my little making of book that I have that I maybe might be perusing for. So I'm going to host next week. So I'll see what I can throw in terms of some good trivia.
Yes,
so
nice.
This album here that I'm pointing at right there is an original print of the Wrath of Khan soundtrack on vinyl.
Ooh.
Awesome. It's awesome.
So that is,
I was recently, over the course of a couple of months, gifted by two different people Star Trek 3 soundtracks, original.
Oh.
And they're so.
Are they on vinyl?
Yeah. They're very nice. You want one? I think she does. Okay, I got you. So interestingly, so yes, this tomorrow there is for those of you who are watching, yes, there is a podcast that's going to be more of a radio drama, actually, of Khan, and it's supposed to cover the period on is it Ceti Alpha 5 or 6? I can't remember which one it's supposed to be on and which one it actually is. Or anyway, so join in, and I also want to point out, looking at this next week episode, and now looking a few weeks ahead, two of my picks we're actually covering, because in a few weeks we'll be talking about Voyager's Endgame.
Oh, yes.
So I was like, two of my picks. I'm like, I'm all fresh in the head here. So
Nice.
I feel
you can go back to Hawaii.
I'm ready doing my research.
I'm also interested to see if they pick up on, where's my camera? There it is. To Reign in Hell. So this book is about from the moment they are exiled through to when Captain Tyrell and Chekhov are found by them, and covers what happens. Ooh. And I wonder if they're going to pull at all from this book for the podcast. Because this book was really well written. So if anyone has, again, I found it at a thrift store for like $1, but Star Trek to Reign in Hell. There's the cover. Look at this. Look how look at that chest.
I'll have to bring James in on this too. Has he read this novel?
Probably.
Well, Kristin, you can give us the breakdown and tell us how closely.
Yeah, I'm gonna be following it.
Do they borrow ideas, similar writers?
Yeah. This book even fixes the issue, when they're like, oh, I never forget to face. And people are like, oh, Chekhov wasn't in Space Seed. They cover it.
Brilliant. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Close the gap.
They do. Anyway, I'm going to save all that for next week.
Well, before then, we would love to hear what you thought of today's show. And there are many ways you can do this. You can join our Facebook group, the BQN Collective. You can join our Discord server, or you can follow the network on Bluesky and Instagram at BQN Podcasts to continue the discussion. You can find all the links and the invite code in the show notes, or if you're quick, you can type it live in the comments here. So, Amy, where can people find you when you're not drinking wine from Christos's head out of a straw?
I think that we have done that.
Okay, what happened in Sieges stays in Sieges.
Well, you can find me here on the network where I'm co-hosting Union Federation. Right now we're covering the new Strange New Worlds series. And you can find me live October 5th on the view screen. So you can catch me there. I'm not really anywhere on social media these days, so find me on Discord. That's where you can find me. Kristin, where can people find you when you aren't celebrating your birthday over and over and over, as in parallels?
I do a whole birthday week, so I am not afraid of aging. Bring it on. You can find me on most often Reddit as user GaraksFanClub. I too am not really on a lot of social media, and man, does it ever make your mental health better when you're not? Yeah. Anyway, or hit me up in some DMs. I really do prefer just to have private convos with people about stuff. Is there a specific truck thing you want to chat about? Let's chat. But just I'll send you my number. We can chat. Even better, let's have a phone call. I'm like, I love that. So that's where you can find me.
And you can find her October 5th.
October 5th for view screen.
The merch.
The merch. And
I may have snagged a little comm badge.
Oh, good.
And Christos, where can people find you when you are not being Saru's best man and making sure he looks all prim and proper for his wedding?
I would be Tarina's matron of honor. Thank you. Let's get it right.
Jones, so you know what? I'll be his woman of honor.
You can find me on pretty much all the socials at Greek Geek SD or at What's the T-Bev, at least on Instagram and Bluesky. Our Discord server for sure, and the BQN, what do we call that? On Facebook. Collective. There you go.
I'll edit that out.
That's it. It's all right. I just see it, or people ping me. It's all right. So, I'm everywhere. And Kelvin, where can people find you when you're not flirting with the Metreon wearing a little white shirt? The
Metreon twink.
Wink. There you go. That's why I put it in.
When I'm not doing that, you can find me on pretty much most of the socials at Kelvin's Timeline or in the BQN Collective Facebook group. Send in all your memes, your funny comments. We love it. It's all there. Oh, also as well, I will be back on the view screen as well on the 5th of October. Damn, almost forgot to plug my own show. Right.
Well, thank you to each and every one of you who support our show by listening regularly, and especially to those who have joined live today. Very, very nice to see you. This podcast is just a labor of love, and not only for Star Trek, but for our Star Trek family that is worldwide now. It's so amazing. So we truly do appreciate you, and we love you, and thank you.
If you would like to help keep all of our shows coming to you each week, you can become a patron of the network on Patreon. For just $1 a month, you can join our Hit It episode reaction show, script readings, and enjoy our special patron-only shows of It's Green and Amy's Math Moments. Visit patreon.com/BQN to get all the details and watch your messages.
And if becoming a patron isn't your thing, don't worry. You can just, share our show with your friends. Go ahead, hit the subscribe and like button so you don't miss anything. Just enjoy and engage and talk to us. That's really how we love getting your support.
Yeah.
at this time, we're going to thank our very own associate producer, JJ Seastrom. Hey, JJ.
Hi,
I hope
JJ.
you're watching. A special thanks to Graham Kelly for our opening and closing music, and to Mr. Kelvin here for our weekly artwork. Thank you so much.
Yay. Thank you for listening and watching.
We hope you'll join us
As we search out
all good things.